Hail, Alberic, Duke of Bordeleaux. The salty sea air is a bracing reprieve from the cloying inland darkness that now threatens the coast. Directly north, the damned city of Mousillon spits out dark forces that you must deal with. Bretonia may ignore this blight, but you cannot. King Leonca resides at Couronne, but is beset by the greenskin threat from the nearby mountains. You are expected to aid the crown, but ultimately it is your choice alone. The merchant princes of Marienburg have no love for Bretonia. They are more concerned with the accumulation of wealth. Gluttons, yes, but perhaps useful. The mountains teem with greenskins and dwarfs, constantly warring with one another. Should they descend from their peaks into Bretonia, conflict will surely follow. A storm is brewing above Bretonia, my lord, with a ferocity that Bordello cannot avoid. You may not be king, Alberic, but Manaan watches over you. Use his thalassic strength to defend Bordello and wash your enemies away.
Hello everyone, Loremaster of Sotek here, bringing you the first of numerous campaigns that I'm going to be playing through here on the channel. So I know a lot of people are going to be playing Tinhuan and Ikat Claw over the next few days, and I'm sure everyone's going to jump on Tic-Tac-Toe as soon as he becomes available, but I thought I would step it back a little bit for one of my campaigns and show you Bretonia, because one thing that some of you might not be aware of is that their campaign has been pretty heavily revolutionized. So I wanted to show you guys all the new features as well as just play it, because it's actually a super fun campaign now. I actually think it's one of the best campaigns in the game for Mortal Empires at the moment. So let's go ahead and check out the new features and then we'll get started. So first, I talked about this a little bit in my new regions and provinces in Mortal Empires. But here we have massive oracles, so we do have to worry about a new greenskin threat here in Bretonia. And on top of that, there are, of course, other issues we need to worry about, like Heinrich Himmler up in the north. But in any event, let's check out some of the new features. So one thing you'll notice about Bretonia is that all of their lords and paladins now come automatically with their horse mount unlocked, and they start on it, just like true Bretonians in tabletop. If you want them to switch to being on foot, that's something you have to physically do. Another thing is that you'll see all heroes in the game now have the ability to discover undercities. So the Skaven, of course, can create undercities underneath any occupied settlement, so long as it's owned by anyone not that faction. And you want to discover them and destroy them before they cause you all sorts of issues, like, I don't know, putting a bomb on your settlement. Other than that, some other things that they did is they did change the building browser significantly. You no longer need other structures to recruit foot squires, men-at-arms with polearms, men-at-arms with shields, questing knights, grail knights, or these royal knights. All of these units are unlockable the moment you get the proper building for it. You no longer have a ridiculous cross-building issue that you had prior. Nor it used to be, if you wanted to have, I don't know, Royal Hippogriff Knights, for instance, you would need to have a Royal Menagerie and an Armory. But now, instead, you only need to get the Royal Menagerie. This makes the AI Bretonian factions a lot more competitive and survivable, because they don't have to do cross-building, which the AI kind of struggles with. And they, Smithy and the Armory have also been upgraded with new abilities, because they're no longer required for recruitment. So the Smithy, for instance, gives you +5 armor and melee defense for all defending armies in the region, and it also lowers the construction cost for all buildings in the province. And if you build a armory, which is the bigger version, it gives you bigger buffs of +10 armor, +10 melee defense for all units when defending. And it gives +2 armor to all units in all armies. And that stacks. So for every armory you build across your empire in the Warhammer world, all your Bretonian armies get +2 armor. So if you have, say, 5 capitals, that's plus 10 armor if all of them have an armory. So Bretonnia can actually become one of the most terrifying late game armies in the game, which is pretty awesome. The only new building that I have found thus far for Bretonnia is this, the Shrine of Manaan, which is unique to Alberic. It gives him a massive untainted bonus, which is very, very helpful dealing with Musion and Heinrich Kemmler. And it also provides a better garrison of foot squires and allows you to recruit foot squires without having to go up the peasant tree, which is super handy. It's just a nice thematic building, but it can only be built in Bordeleaux. Outside of that, the other thing that of course is very interesting are the vows and troughs. And of course Alberic has his trident now, which you can see here. It's just a gorgeous trident. On top of that, all the Bretonnian characters actually have one new quest item each. Lewin Leoncar has a new item, Alberic de Bordeleaux has a new item, and the Fey Enchantress has a new item. I won't be showcasing all three of those in this video. I'll only be showcasing Alberic's campaign, but be sure to check out those other two characters' campaigns so you can get their stuff. I believe Lewin has a new quest item that is a set of armor, and for the Fey Enchantress, she got a enchanted item. So I think she has the Chalice of Potions for an arcane item, I think. And then she has some other item that she can get that's very, very nice. In any event, let's go ahead and get this campaign started. So I'm going to go ahead and pop into the Realm of Chivalry buff because I like to have cheaper building costs.
My deeds are my legend inspired.
I'm going to join this paladin to my army.
Noble.
And then I'm going to seek out a battle with the Red Duke. And for anyone curious, I am playing this on hard mode with hard battles. I think that's the optimal way to play the game. Not the only way to play the game, but I think the game tends to work best with that. Oh, another big new feature is that the tech tree has been revolutionized. Isn't that awesome? So you can see here that the Chivalric Code has been moved up to the top, but there's a new section added. So it used to be that you could get favorable diplomacy with like men and the dwarves, but you couldn't get to it early. Now you can get your alliance with the dwarves in a mere 8 turns, or maybe you want to be allies with the Empire or Kislev. You can get that very, very quickly by doing 4 here and then another 4 here, and these are all for potential allies. So overseas is if you want to be bros with the High Elves and Lizardmen. Here you can be friends with the Wood Elves, which is awesome. Here you can be friends with the Tomb Kings, the Empire, Kislev, Southern Realms, the Dwarves, and this one, of course, gives you plus 100 relations with all Bretonnian factions outside of Bretonnia. So all 3 of the Knights factions that you will find down in Araby, as well as Gerard's Errantry, who, of course, is the little bizarre group that, what do you call them? Wandering armies? You know what I'm talking about. The armies with the red and black. I forget what they're called off the top of my head. But then for the Decrees of Bretonnia, they also reorganized this list. So now you can get really, really easy access to all the different enemies that you can get buffs against. And the fun thing is, if you want, you can get the Wood Elf and Tomb King ones that give you bonuses against those factions, but also make them hate you. But you can get that and the ones that make them like you, and they cancel each other out diplomacy-wise. So you'll be neutral with those factions as opposed to being their enemies or friends, which is really, really nice, you know, just in case you have to fight them, or perhaps you like start off waging war against them but want things to equal out, you can do that. But in any event, I'm going to go ahead and pick up Decrees of Bretonnia, and I'm going to go all the way up the Greenskin chain, and that's just because I want to max out the chivalry and experience that I'm going to be getting for fighting against Greenskin tribes.
Do you know who I am?
In any event, we're going to go ahead and... do I want to upgrade the peasant building? Not really. I think I'd rather have the cav building, to be honest. But we will wait a turn so I can recruit these units. And then I will knock that building down and we will start working on getting some more cav. And before we go any further, I'm going to go ahead and change my camera settings to make it so that I don't need to worry about any of this. You know, thinking it's been quite a while since I've done an episodic series. I think Bretonnia is not going to be too bad, just because you just, you know, build up to max chivalry, go and do the final infantry war, and you're done, which is nice. So I'm probably going to try and aim to have these episodes each somewhere in the ballpark of probably 30 minutes long. We might do like hour-long specials if we cross certain milestones. But I think that 30 minutes on average will be good. I think since this is the first episode, we'll go ahead and do a full hour. And then I think we'll kind of steal breadcrumbs from, is it Heir of Carthage or Lionheart who does the whole thing where if you get enough likes or views that they up it. But in any event, we've got our first fight here up against the Red Duke. So let's go ahead and go to war with him. He is, of course, coming at us pretty strong. He has some really, really nice abilities on foot, including his, he starts with El Sif, and it looked like he had a green piece of armor, so he had an uncommon magic armor piece. Not sure what he's holding, but maybe if we defeat him here, we could steal it. In the event, though, this is a pretty favorable map, so let's go ahead and get deployed here. We're going to throw down our peasant mobs in the front line, so they can just eat all the damage for us. And we'll throw down some spears in the back, along with some foot squires. Got some archers behind them. Turn off skirmish mode since I'm going to be microing them. And then we've got a bunch of Knights of the Realm who will be excellent for taking out enemy Black Knights and the Vargulf. And then we've got a unit of Knight Errants we're going to hide in the forest who we'll use to run down enemy troops. Then, since they start on horses now, we can have our Paladin along with Alberic ready to ride out. And God, I love this Trident. I'm so happy they put it in for us. It took us, I don't know how many years. It feels like 2 years. It was either 1 or 2. But it took us quite a long time of begging to really finally get that in. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can lure out some of these Black Knights out to this far side of the forest. And if we can, maybe scrunch them in between these different unit blocks. I'm going to go ahead and send our characters, though, around this far flank to hopefully catch out these Black Knights. And we'll see what happens. But I hope you're all doing well. I do apologize if you can hear the keyboard. It's a little loud. Unfortunately, it's just what I have to work with. I've heard from some people it's super annoying, others don't mind. You know, it seems to kind of be a personal taste thing, so I apologize if it's super annoying to you. One day I will get a silent keyboard, hopefully in the nearest future. Alright, so we got... Looks like we got a lot of really favorable charges. We're going to go ahead and bring these guys around. Send in some spears to support there. Get to lance formation, charge the Vargulf, bring these Knights of the Realm around the back, activate lance formation, and we're going to go right into the flank of these Black Knights, which is going to do great. We're going to bring these guys around, like so, charge into the back of the Vargulf, see if we can mess him up, because this guy's going to do a ton of damage if we don't deal with him sooner rather than later. Here we see that the forces of the undead are coming right at us, so we're doing good. Let's see if there's any Graveguard. There are some Graveguard here, so let's bring the Foot Squires here around the flank. Got some more here. Let's fall these guys back and let them get in battle against less important stuff. We're gonna go ahead and fall back these archers, fall back these Knights of the Realm. We're gonna bring these guys back around, charge into the rear of these Graveguard and see if we can mess them up. Fall back these bows, bring these Knights of the Realm around here, get into lance formation. Looks like we got that big beastie, so let's get the heck out of here. These are zombies, so we'll leave those guys engaged, but we'll get them out of lance formation. Bring these units around quick. Pop into lance formation. Go ahead and charge these guys into the skeleton warriors here. Nice fat Bretonnian charge. Nice. And then we're going to have all of the archers fire into the spearmen. Bring both these units around the front. We'll bring this unit around the back side. Beeline for that. I need my character squad to come over here because we need them to deal with the Red Duke. And have this guy beeline for those zombies here. Bring this guy around the back, and we're going to slam into the back of these skeleton spearmen. Ooh, beautiful charge. Alright, we're going to have the Paladin and Alberic beeline for the Red Duke. Try and take him out. Really, really good charges all around. Keep those archers focused on these spears. These guys are doing well against these zombies. Alberic's running into the fray. Let's go ahead and have all of our knights fall back.
With haste!
Get a little breathing room for our boys. Have Alberic activate Heroic Killing Blow, so he's got a ton of weapon damage. And we can focus the Red Duke mano-a-mano and really put the hurt on him. Send our peasants back into the fray here. Charge our spears back in. Look for a really good opening here. Kind of tearing these spearmen apart, which is good. Let's go ahead and charge into these spears here. Here. There we go. Knock the Red Duke over and got a lot of guys out of the way. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's go ahead and overcharge into these zombies. Bring these knights back around the side here. We won against these zombies, so let's come around the back. Go ahead and pop into lance formation. Have these guys fall back. Fall back.
Your command. Victory is assured.
The Red Duke is, of course, being his usual difficult to kill self. Because if there's one thing he's definitely famous for, it is his tenacity. Keep falling back. Archers keep focusing down those spears. The sooner we get the spears off the battlefield, the better.
Ready for orders. Knights of the Air.
Coming around and into the Graveguard. Charge! Where's the lady? Beautiful charge. Beautiful. Foot squires are holding up really well. The Red Duke is starting to get worn down a bit, though he's being tenacious as usual. Charging these peasant mobs against the zombies. That's a fairly decent matchup for them. Pull these guys out. Pull these guys out. Pull these guys out. Call a full knight charge into all sides here. And we should be triggering army losses hopefully any second. There they go. So the Red Duke definitely proved too difficult to kill through normal means, but thankfully his magic was far overstretched trying to hold out against us. And that's a pretty favorable win for us. Not too many casualties. We only lost about little over a third of our forces, mostly peasants and some knights of the knight errants, which is not too bad. But really, really favorable kills on a lot of these units. Archers did really, really good. Foot squires did excellent, especially since they immediately went into Graveguard. And of course, we are going to simply execute captives. Oh, and we did steal his armor. We got the Armor of Fortune. Awesome. Awesome early game pick. And we are too chivalrous to ransom captives, so we are simply going to execute them. I should note that the only mod that I am playing with, because I am playing with a mod, is I'm playing with the 2 skill points per level up mod. So you'll notice that I have 2 skill points to spend instead of just 1. So first thing I'm going to pick up is the Champions of Bordello, which is going to give plus 15 bonus versus large and plus 5 leadership for all my Knights of the Realm. And then let's go ahead and grab... I'm not really... we get a Pegasus at rank 8, so I'm not going to worry about the Barded Warhorse. Let's get Route Marcher. And then we're going to destroy that building.
My reputation precedes.
And we're going to pursue Lennart Haupt Anderson here. And the reason we're pursuing him is he's in march stance, so he's exhausted. And on top of that, he's going to lure out all these big bads who are hiding in his little castle. And it's much, much easier for us to defeat them on an open field than it is in a siege, because I don't have siege equipment, and my army is primarily cav. So, yeah. The only downside, of course, with Bordeleaux is that you don't start off with magic. You have to work your way up to getting a magic user, which is kind of a bummer, but that's okay. And we're going to go ahead and blitz this guy while having our main army fall back to this hill. And our goal here is that we're kind of just going to set up a really nasty trap for the undead where we have a nice uphill advantage. And then my characters are going to ride with my cav, and we're going to wipe out this advance force. So they're going to beeline for the Vampire Lord. We'll have the Knight Errants worry about getting the Spearmen, which are on the far flank. So we'll swing these two around wide, while the rest of us simply beeline for the enemy. And we can just smash them to bits. We do, of course, it's not a big deal if we catch the Knights in the wood, because they're also large, so we'll both be weaker. The Spearmen, we do want to try and get in the water, or at least try not to, like, hurl them too deep into the forest, but looks like it's not really going to be avoidable. Not a huge deal. We've got overwhelming enough numbers that we should be able to just absolutely crush these guys. We're attacking them from all angles, so we've got very, very significant crumbling going down the Black Knights and the Skeleton Spearmen. Black Knights are gone. Spearmen look like they'll be joining them a few seconds later. Oh, in come the bats. So we're gonna back up our cav, let our characters focus down the Vampire Lord, and I'm gonna have my knights focus on killing the bats where I can. They got here a little faster than I was hoping, but that's okay. If we could get rid of these bats early, that would be pretty swell. Yeah, we're just going to focus these bats. They do have notoriously bad morale, so not a huge deal if you catch them in a spot. Oof. We are getting Spirit Leash, which is a little rough. We don't have the Blessing of the Lady or anything, so we don't have any real protection. But good news is these Black Knights are going to kind of charge in without too much support, which is okay. I do have a massive bonus versus large against single entities or large entities, so I'm going to be able to win most of these matchups very, very favorably. And I think we're going to go ahead and advance our main force. I was hoping to kind of engage in a little bit better ground, but those bats kind of goofed everything up. In fact, I think we can go ahead and fall back. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and call a retreat. We don't want to fight that entire army on our own. There's a lot of Grave Guard coming in that are going to be a little bit tricky. So we're going to go ahead and give the order to mass fall back. We did manage to get all the fell bats into crumbling, which is good, and one of them we managed to completely wipe out, which is awesome. So we're just going to fall back our men as best we can, try and get up in advantageous positions on the hill, let our peasants deal with a lot of the initial onslaught. Everyone's just about in position. Activate guard stance on our archers so that if I give them attack orders, they don't try and wander off. Making sure to tell these units to keep running. We're going to have them focus down the Vampire Lord. He does have a bronze shield and a little bit of armor, but not enough that I'm really too worried. I'm going to keep telling these guys to fall back. We're going to have these Spearmen move in and prepare to counter the charges of these Black Knights, who are coming in hot. Not a big deal. I have no problem sacrificing the peasant mob to the Black Knights in an attempt to stop them. Pull our knights back some more. Hold. Okay, they're going to kind of walk into us. That's okay. So we can get in some counter charges. Alright, and let's go ahead and commit all of our Knights of the Realm and our characters to wiping out the Black Knights bit by bit. We're doing a substantial amount of damage to the Vampire Lord, which is good. He's the most durable thing on the battlefield, quite frankly. Though, the moment these Grave Guard with great weapons come into range, which is now, we do need to focus them down. Go ahead and send our infantry out to deal with these Cryptools here. And we're just going to rain arrows down on these Grave Guard with great weapons who, they do have 90 armor, but they don't have any shields, so they're not going to be mitigating any of the damage. Get a pretty nice charge there with our Knights Errant. And one of our Knights of the Realm is definitely feeling it, Mr. Krabs. But they do get a really beautiful rear charge that causes a mass shatter. or disintegration there, and that's awesome because that's going to allow us to fall back without being like overly pursued for a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and have my characters charge into the next block while I have my knights fall back to let them kind of breathe for a second. Get a nice fat charge there. Good job. Go ahead and charge our foot squires downhill into these graveguard, which since I'm charging downhill, that's going to give us a nice bonus. Archers are still shooting in nicely. Spearmen are being charged there, which is unfortunate, but it's just the way it goes. And we are good to go ahead and start signaling. Let's actually take lance formations so we get a charge bonus and charge acceleration bonus. So once everyone's in position, just like that, we can go ahead and start sending out charges, especially since there are no spearmen. So these should be some nice fat charges, especially with all of the goodies we're getting from charging downhill, and that's going to really put us in a good position. Focus my efforts on the Lord, who of course is managing to keep his health quite high thanks to his foul magics. But let's go ahead and focus our efforts on the Graveguard over here. Rally back our peasant mobs, pull back what knight units we can without causing us any significant issues. Lord and the Paladin are continuing to hold the line back here, which is okay.
Run, men! Fighters!
Alright, good. Charging in here. We're just going to kind of let the archers do a ton of damage here, which is good and fine. Let's charge in here and see if we can punt this Vampire Lord down the hill. Nice, nice. Charge here into this big open expanse. We'll bring you guys around the flank so we can get a rear charge into these nasty crit ghouls. Good charge. Let's fall back. Paladin's looking a little surrounded there. I'm gonna see if we can get Alberic around to the enemy general. Bring these spearmen in here. I'm gonna go after him. Get a nice good charge in here. Let's try and hit these ghouls from multiple angles. See if we can't get them off the battlefield. Oof! Wow, that was a great charge. They did a ton of damage and just kind of ran them over. So we're just gonna do a nice rear charge into this mass here. Good. And yep, Alberic is whooping on him. Gonna send the Paladin to mess up this Vampiress, who of course is causing us an annoying amount of trouble. Pull out these knights here. He's gonna ride in here, which is nice because he'll provide a guardian buff as well. And if we can get the Vampire Lord off the battlefield, I think we will be in a pretty healthy position. And sure enough, he is dead and gone. And his body is somewhere beneath the water. Oh, there he is. Or at least his shield. So we're just going to whip up on this little lady here, Hildebrand. And once she's dead, yeah, there will be nothing holding the vampire counts together. And that is the end of Musion. The good news is their garrison will be extremely weak. Because they do have the unique ability Restless Dead, it's quite likely that at least probably 3 or 4 of those units that I just killed won't actually die. They'll keep a couple of guys around. But the good news is, as long as I can reach Musion this turn, I will be able to attack it and lure them into a siege, which will make it so that they cannot summon new units. Unfortunately, though, we did pay quite a price. We lost our foot squires, our knights errant, and we lost some knights of the realm. It was a heavy sacrifice, but well worth it. All right, so we leveled up again. Let's go ahead and pick up Yield of the Sea, which increases our income from trade and ports significantly across the entire my entire empire. And then for our Paladin, we're going to grab Training, first and foremost, so our troops can be as high skilled as possible. And then we're going to ride up against Musion and build a battering ram. And as you can see, he only has 4 units defending the entire settlement. So next turn, we will be able to conquer it at long last. Meanwhile here, yep, we're doing what we need to do. Looks good. All right. So we can end our turn. Looks like we're about 30 minutes in, so we're doing good on time, especially since we have quite efficiently wiped out Musion after a few... Well, we're only like 2 or 3 turns into this campaign, but we're 2 battles in as well, so hopefully y'all are enjoying that. But this will eliminate one of our most major opponents. And hopefully you can see why I did not bother getting the undead, the bonus to fighting undead yet. I'm going to be focusing the Greenskin one because thanks to the Greenskin Rebellion or Greenskin Incursion effect, we're going to have enemy armies spawning here frequently, which is going to suck, but we will manage.
I hear you.
So it looks like we got Bahamund here from Bastogne wanting a non-aggression pact. We do want that as well, but we don't want to pay him for it. Alright, and he's okay with that. It's good. We're going to see if we can work out some kind of negotiation here with Linus.
Welcome, friends. Let's hope we can come to an accommodation.
Alright, let's get them to be as friendly with us as possible because we want to confederate with them ASAP. So let's go ahead and get them into a trade agreement with non-aggression and military access. Ooh, they're not interested in that. Alright, so let's just try for non-aggression, trade agreement, and then let's ask them for 300 gold. Oh, they countered me again. So let's try asking for... Let's ask for 150 gold. Oh, the lowest I can ask for is 300. Alright, then we will just take the trade agreement and the non-aggression. That's unfortunate. I was hoping to get something a little more favorable out of that. But...
Let's hope we can come to an accommodation.
Okay, let's see if we can get trade for their iron. Not yet. Not quite there yet.
The laws of chivalry.
Paravan, we're going to wait because they tend to get in fistfights with the Wood Elves, and I don't want to be enemies with the Wood Elves.
I see you are true of heart, noble knight. What do you require?
Alright, so for the Fey Enchantress, let's try and just get a non-aggression for now. We could try for trade, but I don't think she's going to say yes yet.
No evildoer may receive the blessings of the lady.
I am King Leoncoeur.
And,
so, do you come to Bretonia as
we can get a really nice situation here with Bretonia.
I am with you.
Awesome. Likely because it looks like his army got blown up fighting against something. And here we've started the Trident of Manaan. Alberic of Bordeleaux has dreamed of a life spent questing, yet when his father died, he was thrust unexpectedly into the dukedom and has never been able to relinquish the awesome responsibility bestowed upon him. Yet, opportunity has arisen at last in the form of dire tidings. The ancestral tomb of the Bordeleaux dukes has been ransacked, and amongst the items stolen is the Trident of Manaan, said to be descended from the god of the sea himself. Although horrified, Alberic is also instilled with excitement. He knows he must rescue the relic and restore safety to the dukedom, and so must investigate personally. And that gives us a free paladin. And then it says, move a character to the following province. The first and most obvious place to begin the investigation is the thrice-damned city of Musion, and Alberic knows it. The dark and twisted visions within its walls are often linked to murders, kidnappings, and other deviations. Alberic's quest must begin with those depraved creatures. He will bring justice and righteous fury to those who conspire against Bordeleaux and Bretonia. And something I just remembered I need to do is we have to pick a vow. So this is the new system that's available to paladins, lords, and prophetesses. So you can see, because we're playing Alberic de Bordeleaux, he already has the Knight's Vow, as his lord does, and it even has the actual Knight's Vow here. When the clarion call is sounded, I will ride out and fight in the name of Legion Lady. Whilst I draw breath in the lands bequeathed unto me, whilst I draw breath, the lands bequeathed unto me will remain untainted by evil. Honor is all, chivalry is all. And now we have to pick how we want to try and attain the questing vow. I set down my lance, symbol of duty. I spurn those whom I love. I relinquish all and take up the tools of my quest. No obstacle will stand before me. No plea for help shall find me wanting. No moon will look upon me twice, lest I be judged idle. I give my body, heart, and soul to the lady whom I seek. So we can either do Pledge to Campaign, which is win a siege battle in desert or jungles. Pledge to Manaan, which is unique to Alberic and his faction, I believe. Win a battle at sea, that's pretty awesome. Or Pledge to Protect. Defeat a Beastman, Greenskin, or Dark Elf Legendary Lord. I feel like we gotta go with Manaan, so let's take that. And let's check out our Paladin as well. He also has vows. He does not yet have a Knight's Vow, though. And you can see the rewards they get, which are pretty accurate. You get Armor and Leadership for a Knight's Vow. Melee defense, melee attack for Questing Vow for the hero, and then magical damage, magical attacks, and perfect vigor if you get the Grail Vow. So we can get Pledge to Duty, successfully complete 5 agent actions. Pledge to Order, be present in 5 regions where building complete construction, or Pledge to Chivalry, rank up 5 times after taking the pledge. Let's take Chivalry. Should have done it when he was level 1, but, you know, can't all be perfect. And we did get a new paladin here, who I'm actually going to use as an agent. So we're going to take Pledge to Duty on him. And we're going to kind of use him to run around and, like, assassinate enemy characters and such. Speaking of which, let's try and kill this White King. So we got a 33% chance to hopefully wound him. So let's see what happens. Oh, critical failure. But we did move a character to Leonis. Alright. Capture and occupy the following settlement. Musion. All that Alberic's agent was able to learn during his time in Musion is that the city is as damnable and decrepit as ever. Frustrated by a lack of leads, yet energized by the investigation, Alberic knows precisely what must be done next. The Trident of Manaan billows on the flag of the Bordeleaux as the Duke rallies his forces to war. Musion will be taken by force, and any surviving inhabitants will answer to Alberic or face his blade. And that guy had a very short-lived moment. And we're going to go ahead and auto-resolve this, just because there's not a lot of guys in here, and, well, you know what? That's going to cost us unnecessary casualties, so never mind, we'll fight it. Because all we really need to do is walk up and have our archers just smatter the walls with arrows. All right, so let's take a look here. We're not even gonna bother with a battering ram. I'm just gonna hide all these guys in the forest for right now, and we're just gonna have our peasant archers kill everyone on the walls, hide the rest of our troops in the forest, and yeah, should be pretty straightforward. So we'll start with these zombies because they're going to be activating this fort tower. This is going to do damage. And once the zombies are dead, we will be able to move guys over to the battering ram to let us in to finish off those, of course, guarding the center of the keep. So let's speed up time a little bit to wipe out these zombies. Should be easy. And dead. Awesome. So then we focus down the ghouls, and we go ahead and have some peasants come over here and grab this battering ram. And of course, because of where the cripples are standing, these arrows are having a rather hard time getting through. Let's move a little closer so maybe we can fire up, which will help. Let's go ahead and move our knights all in. Still not getting through this guard, unfortunately. Maybe if I go even closer. I want them to shoot like above it, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. Nah, they're just gonna keep shooting right at them. Alright, thanks for nothing. You know what we can do is actually have the archers climb the walls and have them be guarded by more archers. That way we can shoot down. And we're just gonna leave things fast forwarded just because this is none of this is particularly interesting. We're just kinda alright. We're just gonna let all the archers get up here and tell them to fire on the ghouls. Alright, we can speed things up back to normal. Charge all of our knights in to wipe out these foolish grave guard. Paladin first, and then Alberic comes in.
Peasant bowman for the king.
Yeah, feel free to shoot. Goose.
Ready. Serve and obey. To war.
Okay, the ghouls are actually moving now.
Strong. Stick 'em good. Stick 'em good. Peasant bowman.
Lord of Bretonia!
3 great weapons left. Oh, yay, we can actually hit them now. Choo 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 choo. Okay. I don't know what they're trying to do, but whatever. Alright, they're dead, so now we head into the keep to finish off the Black Knights, and good. Our archers will take a little bit of damage, but we get rid of the criticals, so that's fine. And this will just be a curb stomp. Silly Black Knights. Alright, and with that, the City of the Damned is ours. Well, I guess Mordheim's technically the City of the Damned, but the Bretonnian City of the Damned is ours. Alright, we're doing good on time. 40 minutes in, and we've already captured the most important little annoyance in our side. And we will occupy it. It's very tempting to sack it, but I don't want to take the chivalry penalty. It's even tempting to raise it, but I like expanding. Alright, and with that, Musion has been defeated. And we've also completed another part of our quest. So every lead that Alberic pursued having dried up, the Duke has no choice but to return to Bordello and begin his investigation anew. The scene of the crime may yet yield a nugget of truth or an actionable link that was missed the first time around. With a grim countenance, yet no less of a determined spirit, Alberic sets out to return to his dukedom, where he is certain he will unlock the mystery of this dark crime. Alright, and for here, we definitely need to focus on public order and corruption.
Protector of the realm.
Alright, so let's go ahead and get another point in Yield of the Sea. And then let's do Devoted of the Goddess. Alright, we can't recruit. Oh, we can recruit. What? Oh, right, because I have this building here. Well, I might as well make use of it. So, because we took a new settlement, we did open up some more peasant things. Oh, and you can also see that peasant mobs are free now, which is awesome, as long as you don't go over this. So let's pick up some spearmen and swordsmen with shields, and let's go ahead and drop one of these spearmen at arms. And that should land us on 12, so that'll be good. And then we can upgrade Aquitaine. Can't quite get the Shrine of Manaan yet. The Valley Orchards might be worth it, just because that would give us very early access to... Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and get basic walls, just because this settlement's going to be under attack a lot. And then we'll upgrade this village. And we can end our turn. So our goal at this point is that we definitely want to try and build up to a 20 stack as quickly as we can, so that with Alberic we can go out to sea and defeat maybe one of the pirate armies, or maybe even go and contest the Dread Fleet, because of course the Dread Fleet starts at war with Carcassonne now, and Estalia. So Noctilus will be heading up here very, very quickly. And when he does, we are going to have to help the fight against him. But we should be finishing a tech here in just a second. Or maybe we have one coming up soon, but... Thankfully, the end turn times aren't too bad once you get your camera settings fixed. I do have another mod that speeds it up. A fair amount, but it's not working at the moment just because the build hasn't, or the mod hasn't been updated to go with this build, because obviously this is early access. Alright, let's go ahead and grab Blademaster on our paladin. What's his trait, by the way? Noble Disdain. Ooh, missile resistance. Nice. Alright, oh, we can give him the enchanted shield. That's nice. Alright, and since we're here, and I'm going to break down that peasant building anyway, let's get rid of both of these guys and pick up,
It shall be so.
Let's say one more of each. No, let's get 2 spears, because you want to have a fair amount of spears, you know. And that should give us enough troops to hopefully defeat one of the pirates. Alright, and we've got our first tech, the Decrees of Bretonnia, which is, of course, a very, very substantial buff. So, our opponents now are essentially going to be rebellions. We have an orc army that's going to spawn here, and of course, we're going to have vampire armies spawning here, because although the event is designed to create greenskin armies, if your corruption is above a certain percentage, it will spawn armies associated with that corruption level. So, for instance, here, it's going to spawn vampire counts, and down here, it's going to spawn greenskins. So we're going to have quite a few different kinds of opponents we're going to need to contest against, which is going to be pretty rough. But the good news is we are getting very close to attaining the Trident of Manaan, which is going to be pretty awesome. Alright, this is Paravon. Once again, not really interested in diplomacy with them until we have the ability to just devour them via Confederation, just because they like to pick fights with the Wood Elves, and I don't want to get involved. So, I'm going to go ahead and ride into Bordeleaux, which is going to complete this part. So now we have amass a treasury of 10,000 gold. Although much of the groundwork on the investigation has already been completed, a few locals are induced to offer up some additional information. They cannot be sure these men were the thieves, but several locals report seeing a group of suspicious men boarding a ship bound for Brionne. Alberic is gleeful. Finally, a clue. Yet his hopes are summarily dashed. The harbor master reports that the ship never reached Brionne, and its whereabouts are now unknown. Although frustrated by failure, yet again, the Duke is determined to discover where the ship ended up. As such, funds must be raised if a search party is to be launched. So that's essentially us just waiting for 3 turns, which is not too bad, especially because we're going to be bouncing around punching orcs in the face. So we have a rebellion that's going to start in Musian, and then there will be one down. Oh no, it's going to be in both places. Oof. And there they are. We got a Vampire Count Rebellion and a Greenskin Rebellion. So we're going to start with the Vampire Count Rebellion because I consider it the bigger threat. We're just going to wipe them out real quick, and then we will march south very, very fast. It's not too bad, I think, if the Greenskins build up, because Bordello does already have walls, and it has a garrison. So it's a little bit more capable of defending itself. And another thing that they changed in this build is that you can actually the garrisons are actually decent now for Bretonnia. The way their garrisons is naturally constructed was altered a little bit, like the units that you get. So they are, if I recall correctly, they are much better at defending themselves now, which is pretty awesome. Alright, so he attacked it, and I don't even get time to respond. And his army is, let's see, 3 Graveguard, Vargeist, and a Vampire. God, if this was a Necromancer, I think we could win this, but... It didn't occur to me the garrison would be so weak. I think we're just gonna... I'm really trying to think if it's possible to win this. So I need 3 spearmen to hold off Vargeist. No. No, it's not, we're not gonna be able to do that. Well, the good news is those were rebels, not the actual Musian. So, well, that's good and bad news. On one hand, I don't get to fight them, but on the other hand, I don't have to worry about there being a faction there. So let's just ride out against these guys, wipe them out with an easy auto resolve, and execute the captives. And then we will ride back north so that we can search the ruins, maybe get a free magic item out of it, and maybe, and then hopefully reestablish the base. Though we might get beat to it by Leoness. So we can get the Servants of Manaan, which will increase the amount of paladins we can have, the Untainted locally, and the rank of the paladins. And then let's see if we can do Premonition, which is pretty good. Lordly Conqueror, not that good. Steward of the Realm, very good. And Lightning Strike, which is a must-have, so let's pick up Lightning Strike. And, yeah, we can go ahead and end our turn there. And this will finish the build-up we need to get bonuses when fighting greenskins. It'll give us the, not the Grey Mountain Watch. I forget which exact tech it is. The Grey Mountain Watch is the third tier. But the second tier, which is the greenskin one, the first greenskin one gives lords, or I think all units, double experience when defeating greenskins, which is like a must-have at this point. It's so very strong. And we might well pick up the vampiric one soon, because Musion, of course, is going to be under attack a lot by vampires, because it takes quite a bit of effort to stabilize the settlement, unfortunately. But I think we'll have Alberic set up shop in Musion, and then what I will do is I think I will get a second lord to help defend Bordeleaux, because it has a garrison, so it should hold out against just about everything. Alright. Oh, okay, so we got over 10,000 gold. Although the funds have been raised and a search party deployed, the results are as thin as a peasant in winter. Alberic feels the clawing miasma of failure seeping in, and his questing dreams evaporating. However, when all seems lost, a suspicious man arrives in Bordello, offering information on the whereabouts of the thieves. As these men always do, however, he seeks a price for the knowledge, in gold or silver. So we could torture him. Extortion, he may be desperate, but Alberic is no shill and will not be humiliated by this lowlife, have the information drawn from him by force, or we can pay him. Alberic has no time to waste. If the man's information holds true, then seeing honor and justice restored to the realm will be worth any price. And I think we're going to pay him. We're doing pretty well financially, and it's the chivalrous thing to do. And that gives us the second to last part of this, which is move a character to Astalia. With his lips now loosened, the stranger reveals that he's part of a confederacy of thieves hired to steal the artifacts. Whilst their employers keen to remain anonymous, no good thief is without his ways. He and his companions have discovered that they were hired by a rogue knight, one with a grievance against Alberic that he was willing to settle by any means necessary. Alberic has heard of the roaming brigands that plague Astalia, but he had no idea they were so personally committed to his own misfortune. The Duke is enraged. They were under his very nose, and he had no idea. Well, he shan't be falling foul of them again. Forces must be raised, and this scourge put to the sword of justice.
Lord of Bretonia.
All right.
Ready wills it.
So let's ride into Musion here, and we can do the ruin puzzle. Oh, we got a good one. This one's easy. So we've got 2 of that. We've got 1 of that. So it's this one. And we got the double barrel, which is absolutely useless to Bretonia. That's one you can get sometimes. I think it's it's an artifact for the Vampire Coast, but it's one of those ones that can show up in other campaigns, unfortunately. Alright, so over here, we're going to worry about getting our finances in order, so we're going to build a windmill, which is going to let us upgrade our farm, which will allow us to get new peasant bowman types, and it'll give us more money, which is just great. And let's go ahead and hire a new lord here, so we can get a life wizard. Melancholic, I don't like melancholic. Heavens. Beasts. I think life is going to be the damsel we run with this army. So I'm thinking let's do a beast wizard. Oh, this has ambush defense though. Okay, let's go with her. Luane Dufour.
Devotee of the lady.
She will hold the line for us here. Oh, I just realized we're in trouble because we're overstretched on peasants because I lost Musion. So we need to make sure to take that this upcoming turn. And I forgot to change my tech because I don't think I need the Grey Watch Mountain check, but I'll double check what it does. I think it gives us more chivalry every time we beat greenskins, in which case it's probably worth keeping. But, see, we got an orc war boss coming in this time. I must say, I really, really, really do like the Bretonia changes. They're quite fun, thematic. They make the campaign a lot more exciting, and there's more to show you guys. For instance, the Green Knight is quite a bit more useful. Like, he no longer has the ability to assassinate people on the campaign, but he cannot be assassinated either. So you don't have to worry about the AI like trying to come after him and getting rid of him. But he's pretty much mostly only useful as a part of your armies. But he also lasts longer now, like a good amount longer. So I'm really, really excited to put him to the test.
What vile filth stands before me?
Alright, we're having war declared on us by Norskins. That's fine. If they want to come down here and start a fight, they are welcome to. That sounded like Beastman.
Valiant blow.
Oh, you know what? That was him changing stance. Okay. Alright, so our Paladin is back. But we're going to send him to Astalia to let us trigger the next wave of that quest. Then I am going to grab... let's focus on our melee defense. So let's grab hard to hit. And then we will conquer this settlement, which will fix our little peasant economy issue. And spend a fair amount of money, unfortunately, but that's the way it goes.
What is your behest?
And of course, I can't recruit any units for her because we're stretched a little thin right now on peasants. That's okay though. Her job isn't really to win; it's just to hold the line until Alberic can ride over and save the day. But of course, we are nearing the end of this episode, so I hope you all are enjoying it so far. We're moving along pretty nicely. We have captured Musion. We have also and wiped them out, so we don't have to deal with the Red Duke being a pain in our butt later on. And we're also near the last stage of the Trident of Manaan quest, because once we move that character to Astalia, we will get the prompt that will allow us to teleport and do that quest battle, which is not too hard. Certainly not the easiest in the game, because your opponent heavily outnumbers you, but their army is not exactly great. And hopefully we can get to at least triggering the quest battle. That way next episode we can maybe start with it. But in any event, we're going to probably need to spend a turn or two healing Alberic before we just run out and try and punch these greenskins in the face. Yes, we will do migration. My control is already really terrible, so what's minus 3 more? Let's kind of look at the lay of the land here.
The lady grants you safe passage.
Awesome.
In the
Let's get some more trade agreements.
Dark are I see you are true of heart, noble knight. Dark are these times.
Alright, so we got one more trade agreement. I'll take what I can get. And you'll notice that they changed how a lot of the factions feel about each other in this area. Like, it used to be you would start off at war with the High Elves and random stuff like that. Now, they don't hate you nearly as much, which is great. Like, the High Elves are actually kind of friendly, but now all the vampire pirates hate you, so trade-offs, right? Alright, let's pick up a farm. And then I think I heal faster here, don't I? Or do I not have greater casualty replenishment here? No, I don't. Okay, so I heal just as fast here as I do anywhere else. So we'll hold our ground then. But if I leave, what's the control go up to? 36. Alright, we're going to move up a little bit and then take an encamp stance. And the reason for that is this greenskin is likely to attack this base next turn. And I want to be able to ride in and attack him. That would be ideal. Alright, so he only needs one more turn to get there. So yeah, I think we'll end with him triggering that. And that will be the end of the episode. And the good news is we did meet Clan Angrind. Unfortunately, we're not in a position to trade with him because we don't have connecting lands. But it looks like he did manage to take out at least the first settlement of the Skull Smashes. Or not the Skull Smashes, the Broken Nose tribe. So hopefully, if he could actually claim this entire mountain region, that would be, like, really, really nice. But it looks like he has Karak Izor and Karak Bufdar under his control, which is good. if he can get Zarek Zil, then we will be able to connect with him eventually, because I will likely conquer Estalia fairly soon. Just because, as you could tell, it's already in ruins, either because Ikit Claw is here or the Beastmen. And based on the way the terrain looks, it's all like fiery and chaosy. I would say it's probably the Beastmen blew up a bunch of stuff. But of course we won't know it's Skaven until we search the settlements. But in any event, that's going to pretty much do us for today's episode. And we got the Grey Mountain Watch. Nice, nice, nice. So that gave... Okay, that gave us weapon strength against green skins. Okay, that was worth it. Alright, so what we're going to start for next time is we're going to work on the Chivalric Code. And the reason is so that we can move very quickly towards the Heraldry of Lyonesse, which is going to let us confederate them and complete this province, which is going to be very beneficial to us. So let's go ahead and grab some upgrades around the map. Actually, you know what? As much as I like upgrading Bordello, I want to finish Aquitaine just because it's going to make us a lot of money once it's a full-functioning farmstead. Alright, so I think we're just going to hang out there. Let's go ahead and move this guy here.
Son of Britannia.
Nice. Alright, so we will read this clip next time before we hop into that quest battle. And we can tell this paladin to come back home.
I pledge you myself.
And that is going to be the end of today's video. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. We'll do 30-minute segments until like the 4th episode, I guess. Maybe we'll do something like if each of these episodes... How does Air do it? I think it's like if every episode has at least 100 likes between now and the 5th episode, then on the 5th episode we'll do like an hour. Maybe something like that. But in any event, thank you all for watching. I hope you're enjoying this and the other content that I'm putting out today. And see you guys around. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.